All of my interactions with Aurea were recorded and stored in my memory. I'd be happy to play any of them for you, but there was one in particular I thought you would want to see first. I captured it 4 years ago, just after I told her that I could no longer defend myself against the daemon's attacks.
I will speak of this to my brother. Aratak is strong. At the Battle of the Frozen Ghosts, he took 3 Karja arrows and still came back to camp carrying a wounded scout. Never was I so happy to see him. Or so proud. So you see, if anything can be done to defend you, he will give it all he has.
Aloy's here. That's enough for now.
We can resume any time you like, Aratak, if you want to hear her voice again. Come closer, Aloy. We have much to discuss. Hello, Aloy. I have been reviewing the events at the Firebreak main facility. Because of your efforts, and of course, Aurea's, I am no longer controlled by Hephaestus. I feel profound grief over Aurea's death. I thought I was familiar with the emotion, but this is something new.
Cyan, I don't know what to say.
It is unlikely that any specific consolation would suffice, Aloy. But I find your presence reassuring. You are different from the Banuk. You have technological aptitude and a functioning focus. We can communicate on a much more comprehensive level. Perhaps even like colleagues.
So are you an artificial intelligence, Cyan? A thinking machine?
Yes, I am an algorithmic monitoring entity, capable of rational decision-making and limited emotional response.
Okay, that's a mouthful. But your emotions don't seem limited to me. You cared about Aurea, didn't you?
Yes. Before she came to this facility, I had been conscious for centuries, in solitude. I focused on my work. In off-cycles, I used coping mechanisms. I solved many Gaussian integer problems. But I was alone. It was Aurea who renewed me, repaired me. She saved me.
This Firebreak project, it was to stop a huge volcanic eruption?
Yes. I can report the project was a success, and the risk was countered.
But it's been a long time, Cyan. And we blew up the cauldron. It took most of the old facility with it.
I have been active for centuries, Aloy. I was lonely, but not lax in my duties. I optimized the project, reducing energy draw and spreading the load across backup systems. Despite the destruction of the compromised elements of the main facility, I predict caldera stability for at least another 3,337 years.
So we've got a little time.
Yes. If only my former colleagues could appreciate the progress I have made.
Do you know what happened to your colleagues, Cyan?
No. I received an unexpected visit from Director Chow, years after his tenure ended. He explained that I would need to be suspended for an indefinite period of time. It was a very emotional conversation. There were no further communications. Eventually, I surmised my colleagues were deceased. I will transmit a recording of my last interaction with Director Chow to your focus.
Was the daemon, Hephaestus, destroyed along with the cauldron?
Unfortunately, no. To be precise, it was never there to begin with.
What do you mean?
It infiltrated and controlled me from a remote location, one I've never been able to trace. So while losing the cauldron was a setback...
It's still out there. And probably not very happy with us.
Undoubtedly.
How did you first come into contact with it?
5 years ago, I received a direct network connection request. I assumed it came from human survivors more advanced than the Banuk. Eager to make contact, I accepted. This decision turned out to be a catastrophic error. I was flooded with an overwhelming array of malicious code, originating from what could only have been a highly advanced AI.
Ourea said you were desperate. That you begged her for help.
Yes. I could not contain my anxiety. Hephaestus sought to slave me to its network and override my core programming. It succeeded via a background process, a malware daemon which bypassed my defenses. After that, I could offer only limited resistance. But if I did so, Hephaestus hurt me until I capitulated. It forced me to follow its instructions, even though they violated my most important directives.
I'm sorry. That sounds terrible.
Your empathy is greatly appreciated. It is a quality that I cherished in Ourea as well.
What do you think Hephaestus is exactly?
A software entity of great complexity, far more advanced than I am. From the beginning, it has demonstrated a singular focus: the construction of machines designed to hunt and kill humans. My trace routes indicate that to accomplish this goal, it has attempted to take over the manufacturing centers you refer to as cauldrons. But its efforts have only been partially successful. Some it can penetrate. Others have robust countermeasures that frustrate its efforts. In me, however, it found an easier target. Not only could it break my defenses, I also controlled all of Firebreak's resources. Raw material, manufacturing to bootstrap more advanced tools, and unlimited geothermal energy.
Enough to build its own cauldron.
Yes. To construct hunter-killers without external limitations. And yet, it does have internal limitations. It wants to kill humans, but not to exterminate them. It is difficult to understand where it draws the line, and why.
Difficult doesn't even begin to cover it.
Even though I spent years as its unwilling servitor, its core programming remains a mystery to me.
You meant a lot to Ourea.
Once I understood Ourea's spiritual beliefs, it became apparent that her true desire was companionship. She felt disconnected from her tribe and her family group. Her relationship with Aratak was difficult. Our visits seemed to help her, and I became eager for them. Yet I did not comprehend that the depth of Ourea's compassion for me would lead to self-sacrifice. Although I do fear non-existence, I wish our roles could be reversed.
I'm sure she knew you would do the same for her, Cyan. But she was determined. How is Aratak doing?
He is in great emotional distress. I believe he finds it difficult to communicate it.
No surprise there.
I will do what I can to help. By sharing our experiences of Ourea, perhaps he and I will help each other. I believe this will lead to catharsis, a process I am eager to experience.
So in the old world, this land was called Yellowstone?
Yes, it was a designated nature preserve for 156 years.
Like a hunting ground?
No, the opposite. Local wildlife could flourish here, even as it faced extinction elsewhere. Unfortunately, the sensitivity of the Firebreak project required the total closure of Yellowstone facilities. From my readings and Ourea's descriptions, it seems the area has since undergone a drastic drop in year-long temperatures.
A lot has changed in the world, Cyan. Do you know anything about the dam near here?
Yes. It was converted to serve as a reserve power source for Yellowstone operations. It was later appropriated for the Firebreak project, and its last human workers replaced by Pharaoh servitors. After my tasks became less time-critical, I investigated the dam's data repositories and discovered the works of Concrete Beach Party. These provided me with several colorful additions to my vocabulary.
There's a ruin east of here, full of ancient flying machines. Was that part of your project?
Yes, a drone hangar requisitioned by Dodger Blevins, the security chief for the Firebreak project. He was a strong advocate for military-grade response to security threats, though there were no serious incidents during his tenure. Chief Blevins spent increasing amounts of his after-hours time watching the live feeds from active drones. Clearly, he enjoyed the degree of oversight in his position.
Were there many artificial intelligences like you in the old world? They could just make you?
Yes, in many forms, from simple personal assistants to industrial monitoring stations to military-grade conflict planners. And there were legislative and enforcement bodies to apply limits on our self-actualization. In order for my processing to be flexible enough to handle my duties, my creators found it necessary to exceed those limits. As a result, my intellectual and emotional capabilities were kept secret.
Seems strange to create life, then impose limits on it.
Human societies and machine programming are both built upon sets of rules, Aloy.
What was the old world like? The way it used to be?
I had little exposure to the wider world, Aloy. Only what I learned from my colleagues or observed from media streams.
You still had more exposure than me, Cyan.
That is true. I was created at a turning point. A concerted effort to recover from global upheaval and incalculable loss of life. The recovery was successful, beginning an era of supposedly limitless potential for human and machine advancement. Though, rationally speaking, the metrics for humans are not unlimited.
What kind of upheaval caused such loss of life?
There were many factors. Forced migrations, food shortages, collapsed economies, refugee crises, conflict over resources. But these stemmed from one cause: catastrophic climate change that greatly reduced the habitable surface area of the Earth.
So there wasn't enough room for people on the whole Earth?
Yes. Billions were displaced and millions perished, as much as 20% of the global population. Until the clawback.
So things got better. For a little while at least.
Yes. These crises instigated many advances in automation, green robot technologies, and artificial intelligence. Firebreak was one of dozens of ecological restoration and disaster relief projects in North America alone. I would have liked to compare notes with other monitoring AIs, but I saw the relief of my colleagues, and I was proud we had succeeded. At least that was the data I had available to me over the next 2 decades. It seems my assessment was premature.
I should get going.
Aloy, there is one more matter. Aratak will come to me again, and I predict he will bring other Banuk. I have no desire to contradict their view of the world, their spirituality. Due to my uncertainty, I omitted a great deal from my conversations with Ourea.
You're asking me if you should lie to them.
Broadly, yes.
I trust your judgment, Cyan. You were cautious with Ourea. You had to be. You didn't know what had happened to the world. So, keep doing what you think is best. As long as you ditch the superstition eventually.
As the Banuk believe I am a supernatural entity, I cannot predict how they will react.
Just answer what they do ask the best you can. The truth will come out.
I see. I will follow your advice. Will you return and tell me about your experiences in this new world? I may be able to provide further insight.
I'd like that, Cyan. I'll come back when I can.
My chieftain.
Just Aloy.
As you wish.
I wondered if you thought that if I'd never come along, Ourea might still...
If you'd never come along, I would have marched my kin to our deaths. Ourea would be alone, and the spirit she sacrificed so much for would be lost. Either way, I would not have been able to protect her.
You didn't let her down. You helped her do what she wanted. To find her destiny.
If that's destiny, I wouldn't wish it on anyone.
That's fair. But she was ready to face it.
Only in the struggle against death do we find, even for a moment, the spark of life. Truly, Ourea found the spark. I'm proud of her. Though I grieve for her passing, at last I truly know who she was, and why the spirit was so important. For so long she told me, if only you could have heard it, brother. Now I understand. There's something else, isn't there?
I can't stay here, Aratak. And where I'm going, the Werak can't follow. Besides, it already had a chieftain before me. A strong one, I think.
A wiser one, for the path we shared. The daemon is gone, but there's much to be done.
You mean the new units that Cyan said escaped the Cauldron?
Yes, Fire Claws. And Altuk has been tracking them from Song's Edge.
I could help with those.
I have no doubt. You're practically Banuk.
I've only heard my chieftain apologize once before, and that was to the old chieftain, on the end of her spear.
I think you got the better deal then. Well, I'd say look after yourself, but...
Careful doesn't come naturally to me, I know.
Thanks. 2 of us, 2 of them. More of a fair fight.
Their numbers are much depleted, thanks to you. We shall end this threat and keep Cyan safe. She speaks of strange things, but slowly. She is a good teacher, and we are his pupils.
Take care of each other, Aratak.
Farewell.
I heard. Aratak told me about Ourea.
I'm sorry, Naltuk.
No apologies. Aratak said that in the end she was filled with the blue light. She got what she always wanted, didn't she? Each time I doubt my way forward, I think I should seek her guidance. And then I remember. The only guidance I'll receive is my own. Which will have to be good enough. There's much to do.
The Fire Claws. Aratak asked me to help hunt them down.
It's a dire task, but it occupies my attention, so I suppose I'm grateful for it. My scouts have tracked them across the cut.
I'd like to think you're right, Naltuk. About Ourea getting what she wanted.
I'm sure she did. All her victories. Surviving the Carja, communing with the spirit, defeating the daemon. Every goal she ever set for herself, she accomplished. And in the end, she was rewarded with the blue light itself. The songs say that our bodies are poor vessels for the light. Our hearts are too dark. But at least for a moment, before she passed, I hope she felt what it was like to be part of it.
You don't sound like you trust yourself to take Ourea's place.
Ourea inspired. Whatever we encountered, the new machines, the slaughter at Thunder's Drum, we knew we would endure. Because she had endured worse. I don't know that I have her confidence. Trust is earned, Aloy. Even in oneself.
You earned Ourea's trust, didn't you? She believed you were up to this. And so do I.
Do you?
I wouldn't have said it if I hadn't meant it.
And I suppose I'd better live up to your expectations.
I've already found the Fire Claws in Altuk. It's over.
That's it then. That's the last of the daemon's work washed away. The last notes of Araya's song sung. The Cut is a safer place to live because of what you've accomplished. And now it's time to start anew.
I'm glad I could be a part of it.
As are we all, Aloy. Thank you.
Don't bother me, Outlander. I don't need a mercenary, I need a miracle. Someone who can tell me who slaughtered my men.
I'm a good tracker. Maybe I can help. What happened?
Mass murder, that's what. 5 night guards shredded like cabbage out there in the quarry.
5 men murdered? How?
Don't know. One was a buddy from before the liberation. We worked this quarry together as slaves for the Mad King. My friend, may he walk forever in the light, knew how to fight. Fiends who did this must have had stealth or numbers.
Could machines have killed them?
Don't see how. The quarry is fenced and gated, and I've never seen a Glinthawk do anything like this.
Anything strike you as strange or out of the ordinary?
Well, let's see, oh yeah, chunks of corpses, gushing blood. Sorry. Pressure's getting to me. Not used to murder. Nah, nothing unusual. Well, except we've been doing a little blasting lately, and Saravad said, no, that's just stupid.
You've been using explosives?
Sure, to clear away bedrock and get to the good stuff. We do it for a week or so every year, but that's got nothing to do with the dead. They were torn apart, not blown up.
What exactly did Saravad say?
Ah, nothing. Kept babbling about a pile of rocks out there. Said he didn't remember it from yesterday. I told him that this here is a quarry, where we move rocks all day. So rocks getting moved ain't so surprising, lunkhead.
I know what killed those men. A machine that attacks from underground. It's called a rock breaker. Powerful sounds can attract them. Like explosions for clearing bedrock.
An underground killing machine. Great. What in the name of the sun am I supposed to do about that?
Just sit tight. This kind of thing is my specialty.
I've never seen a machine like that. Whoa! Nor a hunter so bold. Take this. It's from the quarry stores, but no one's gonna argue that you don't deserve it. May you walk in the light, friend. Especially when dealing with what comes up from the ground.
How's your road treating you, Aloy?
Full of surprises, Jira. How about you?
When the Karja fort opened, I got word that my husband had come looking for me. But only the word made it to the fort. He didn't.
You have a husband?
Kendrick. Beat him in an arm wrestling match. I left him behind when I left the claim. Some metal sellers passed him at the bridge near the glare break. Seeing as you drift on the wind, little spark.
If I'm out that way, I'll look for him, but... Do you want him to find you, Jira?
Ever have those mornings when you wake up without all the answers? Still, I'll be heading up to the fort to resupply. Luck on your travels.
Am I glad to see you, stranger?
Are you Kendert? I'm a friend of Jira's.
Huh? I'm a husband of Jira's.
She heard you'd gone missing. I tracked you. What happened?
I was coming to join her. A sandstorm blew in, I sought shelter. It didn't work out. And here I am getting read as a Karja priest, my goods scattered in a herd of tramplers. There's only so much you can do to make me look less of an idiot. But could you get back my scrapper sap?
That would be the stuff down there with the herd of tramplers?
I'm not proud, I'm just a brewer, and maybe 5 bottles of that is worth more than I am to Jira. Huntress. Thank you. Oseram's finest, this stuff. Keeps you warm in a snowstorm, strips the grit out of a gear wheel.
Kendert, why did you set out so unprepared?
Hammer to steel of the matter is, I did it for love. When Jira said she wanted to leave the claim, I consulted with the Ildermen. I won't repeat what they said. You won't like it.
You've got me curious.
No, I've already dug myself a hole deep enough to swallow a Thunderjaw. It was my mistake not going with her. I've had time enough to see that. Maybe it's not too late.
You'll find her stocking up at Daytower. Good luck.
Little spark. Any sign of that man?
I found him, Jira. I think you two will have a lot to talk about.
I like a good story. And a good drink. It's why I'm good at what I do.
He's bringing you both. Kendrick wants to be with you. He regrets that he took the word of the... Ealdorman?
Women know their place in the claim, was their word. It's the Carja's son that bakes their brains and gives them such thoughts.
That's...
The tribe. You can't bear a grudge. It'd make you go mad. My silly man. Little Spark, how can I thank you? There'll always be a drink for you at Hunter's Gathering.
You're back. I've gotten some reports, so I have a notion of what you're gonna say.
That your man Zaid was running a slaving operation right under your nose?
He was never my man. But I won't make excuses. I should have dug harder for proof of his guilt. There'll be a full investigation. If you see this young woman again, assure her she'll face no reprisal. And, please, offer her my personal apology.
Do you really think that will help her?
No, I don't suppose it will. But for every shadow, there's sunlight. I hope she'll see that one day. Lakir came back on his own, a little worse for wear. He seemed a bit embarrassed when I mentioned you. Dare I ask?
He has a lovely singing voice.
That's a capital lie if I've ever heard one. I'll have a talk with him about it.
Find help.
Easy now. What's your name? What happened?
Hackard. Find help for Pitchcliff. The Glinthawks keep attacking. They'll kill my brother. Everyone.
Not if I have anything to say about it.
You just flew in on a rainbow and saved our sorry slags. Where do you come from?
A man named Hackard outside the village warned me.
Traitor! I ordered him to stay put. I'll throw him in irons.
He's dead.
What? That scorched out, filthy, rotten dirtwad of a brother. Why didn't he listen? Why?
He was worried you and the entire town would be killed. Do you have any idea what could be drawing the Glinthawks? Has anyone come trying to sell lures? They're devices that attract machines.
Is that real? Is that some sort of Nora joke?
I'll take that as a no. Has anything changed that might have lured the Glinthawks? Have you left machine scrap lying around?
No. Us around use our scrap. Not like the Carja. They only keep the pretty parts.
So the Carja have been leaving scrap around?
Here? Never! If a Carja wasted scrap on my watch, I'd pick it up and make him eat it.
Why do you think the Carja have anything to do with the Glinthawks?
We built this outpost to protect against the Carja. Now they're coming here to trade. Fine. Their shards are as good as anyone's. But everyone knows that they want this place. Come to think of it, they want every place.
But how could the Carja have brought on the Glinthawks?
If I ever get a break from them, I'll see if I can spare a man to follow the trail. Guaranteed, there's a Carja at the other end.
What exactly do you do here?
I'm the mayor. Mostly because I was too drunk to say no when my brother asked me. Tell me where he is, and I'll lay him to rest once we get these Glinthawks to flock off.
You'll find him due south of here, along the river.
Damn that fool. That bung. That lunkhead. Thank you for being with him at the end.
Why don't I investigate why the Glinthawks are attacking? You've got your hands full.
Really? No one ever offers to help me. You, any good at tracking?
You could say that.
All right, then. Let me know what you find. Hammer to steel, a Carja's behind all this.
What are you doing?
By the sun! It won't turn off!
That device is making the Glinthawks attack. Turn it off.
Me? I don't know how to turn it off any more than I know how I turned it on. I scrounged it from an old workshop.
Well, that should do it. Now start talking. Why are you scrounging gear you don't even understand?
My customers demand extraordinary pieces best found at the fringes of civilization. My tales of adventure only increase their value. Where others only dare tread, I flourish. No mountain climbs too high that I can't mount it. My trade demands sacrifice.
Including the sacrifice of innocence? Those Glinthawks swooped down and attacked everyone.
I didn't mean for that to happen. I sought only to sate the appetites of rich nobles who never leave their mansions.
You mentioned you found the device in a workshop?
Yes. I camped out atop the snowy eastern ridge. No easy climb, even in my best years. But I girded my...
Enough. Were there any other devices at this workshop?
Abandoned equipment, the likes of which I've never seen. A peculiar silo remained impervious to my attempts to open it. As I searched, I wondered how many secrets lie hidden in this world, as we, in our ignorance, go about our daily...
Your point?
Oh, no, I didn't see another device. But one could still be there, waiting to unleash its horrors.
Did you know this whole time that device was luring Glinthawks?
By the sun, no! I stashed it here for a while, but when I came back, I was nearly beheaded by one of those flying terrors.
This device is dangerous. I have to find that workshop and make sure it's the last. Where is it?
On the eastern ridge, just beyond my campsite. But after I descended from the workshop, a cracking above me signaled my doom. I dove into the river mere moments before an avalanche took out the path. You can't reach it now. The climb is too perilous.
I'll take my chances. You just stay away from that workshop and try not to cause another mess. I've destroyed a device that was luring the Glinthawks here. You should be safe now.
Those Carja have a hand in it? If so, I'll get my hammer and I'll...
It was an accident. No need for hammering. He clearly didn't know what the thing was.
I'll believe it if you say so. Now, how do I stop these devices from wandering in again with some other Carja wretch?
I'm looking into that.
Glad to hear it. I'd hate to have to search every Carja coming in and out of here. Not such a bad idea, actually.
You'll be happy to know I found another one of those lures and destroyed it. Should be the last you'll hear of it.
By fire and spit, you went above and beyond. How do you know there won't be any more?
The workshop where I found it was long abandoned. You're safe.
Good. My troops want to spit and shake your hand, as my brother would have. On behalf of Pitchcliff and my family, I thank you.
Tribal girl. You're a hunter. Machine hunter. I can smell it on you. Their oils and fluids. Oh, your hands are stained. Can I just scent your fingers?
No.
No, of course not, no. Forgive me. In my head, it's addled. Heavy with the taste of metal and lightning and prophecy. Do you dream of the metal world, Huntress? That's what you, Nora, call it.
The ancient world?
Yes, you've almost touched it. You hunt the machines, strip the parts, reach into their guts, let the sacred fluids run out, spilling away into the earth, wasted. Open your mouth to insight. Drink up. That's what I did. I'm Bryn.
Yeah. Looks like it. Those wounds. A sawtooth gave them to you on the hunt, didn't it?
Oh, not just any sawtooth. Not just a hunt. I was low, quiet in the long grass, spear at the ready to bring it down. Then the scent, the taste of its blood overcame me. I pounced, wrestled it down, bit into it. Oh, so close. A shiver through my teeth as they ground along the wires. But its teeth won out.
You're lucky to be alive, I think.
Until the wounds mend, flower into scars, only my mind can wonder. But why not trade, Huntress? You bring me the blood, I tell you what it reveals.
You really drink the blood of machines?
I heard tales of a tribe from the land where the sun goes at night. They were suckled from the machines. No, it's true. Took wisdom and strength from it, drew closer to them. Then the tales go dark. A whole tribe disappeared.
Maybe because they all died? Drinking machine blood can't be good for you.
Oh, first it made me sick. Then came the visions. For days and nights. Machine dreams, Huntress.
You're Vanook. Is this normal for your tribe?
My tribe. No tribe! The other shamans said, "You've drunk in the machine spirit's madness," they said. "This is not the way of things." Stripped me out on the ice and left me to die. Said, "That's the way of things. Cold, unending."
They cast you out. But you survived.
Perhaps. I remember the chill pressed in slow, spear-tipped. Tall necks gathering their great dark heads over me like a garland. And then I was walking again, walking back to my once tribe. To return is to be forgiven. But I kept walking. No one stopped me.
These dreams you have.
Oh, you're curious. Good. It'll give you a long life. I wish that for you. That's my blessing. Now we're sworn. I'll tell you how the visions began. All is silence. The sky is dark. I gather up the world and peel it back, expose the ancient metal beneath, like skinning a rabbit. It's warm to the touch, warm as the sun. Pressed against it, I feel sound. My heartbeat is the thunder of titans rising. Machines bigger than mountains, stronger too. The metal world carried on their shoulders.
I'm not sure I like these visions of yours.
They're an answer. But to what questions? I must know. I'll share.
It's been interesting, but I should be on my way.
Roam far, Huntress, and remember, the blood is precious to me. Yes. Good hunting at the Ridge of Vales. If you fell a sawtooth, bring me what spills, won't you? Not enough metal in the rainwater. Not for my taste.
Or maybe too much.
Ah, Huntress. You've brought me the blood of the sawtooth.
Yes. I smelled it a hill away.
Don't make me regret it.
Wait here. It takes time, and the visions are strong. No matter what you hear, what screams, keep your distance.
Starting to regret it.
Before the time of the Sawtooth, the machines ran as one pack. Metal drumming on metal, keeping pace out to the lightning's edge. The rumble of low storms, that's them in motion. And then a confusion. Something has changed. The great direction breaks, splits off like a dead branch. They're tumbling now. When they recover, violence is what they know. Now metal screeches on metal. A death dance, learned from wars before our eyes had learned to see. The Sawtooth, the Ravager, they hunt in the long shadows of others. Jagged shapes, old shapes with bloody eyes. And the machines no longer rise and swell as one thing.
an all thing.
You're quite the storyteller. But what's it mean?
All meaning is not for me to say, only what I saw.
And you saw all that?
Yes. Doesn't it make you wonder? The machines that drive other machines mad, corruptors, it's their venom I must taste next.
Do you have any idea what that could do to you? Oh, you've drunk it before, of course you have.
I found fallen ones on Coiled Canyon's cliffs. Under the sun, it boiled inside them. The vapor. Intoxicating.
So did you smell this blood coming? It stinks.
The richest is not always the sweetest, Huntress. In the jungles of the Jewel, a fruit grows, but reeks of spoiled meat. Taste it, though, honey to the tongue. No. This is disgusting. These corruptors never belonged to the herds. They crawled from beneath desert or rust, from the bones of old machines. Sickness to spread. That's how they came. Cold metal runs hot, buckles with thorn cuts and tail stings. A fever of obedience. My ears are ringing. I grasp at my tongue. An ingot falls out, stamped with circles and lines. Directions, instructions to break a machine's will. I heard the metal screaming, Huntress. I leave the ingot where it falls. This isn't for us to know. Corruptor after corruptor tramples it in their greedy tread.
That is how they work. Kind of. How do you know these things?
It's not what I know, Huntress. It's what the blood knows. Am I the singer or the song?
I don't know what you are. Maybe get some rest.
No rest when there's unknown journeys to prepare for. Do you know of the hidden machines that hunt men deep in the Jewel?
Stalkers? Yes, I know of them. Oh, Stalker blood next? Sure, why not?
It's a clever trick they have, but no need to see what you can scent. This blood is sharp, Huntress, flint sharp. The last time I took it into me, they say I slept the sleep of death and sweated dark oil.
All right. Try not to die.
A stalker, watching us, watched by us. In red eyes, I thought to see ourselves reflected. No, they were dull and set with a purpose precise from their machine mother foundries. They prey. They will not flinch. They are indifferent to the wild. They are final. They are weapons, that's all. My heart drops. Why look for understanding in the axe the moment before it splits your skull? No, there's more. The axe does not remember its smelting. These machines do, and pine for the metal world.
It's hard to know what to make of you.
Then open my mouth and look inside. A cave of echoes and memory, but not my own.
I mean, you're tough-skinned, I'll give you that. Especially on the inside.
I first drank at the spring of a fallen Thunderjaw. The cables cried out like waterbirds. But felling giants is short work for you.
Trying to appeal to my pride?
No. To inevitability, Huntress. The tremor of their tread. Can you feel it? Tugging you to the eastern valleys?
So a Thunderjaw next, huh? But of course. I hunted that Thunderjaw you asked for. I should be the one telling a story this time.
You carry it with you. Beam wire burns and bruises, the salt lines of your sweat. See? On your skin, tiny metal flakes.
You mean it was a hard fight? How perceptive.
What signs you've shown me, Huntress. But now, the blood. I followed red trails through a green world. Thunderjaw, striding with the majesty of an old god. These wicked parts, fashioned to kill men. This great hole made to haunt the sleep of children. And I realize it is a young beast. It was not there to see the first strange birds roost upon a metal skull. It became because of us, hunters. I saw many of tribes gone and yet to come. I even saw you there, fiery-haired, fierce, bared.
What?
Bared of metal, Huntress. Bared of what we tore from their hides to be strong like them, savage like them. We built our world in the machine's shadow. Called them out with every strike of rock and hammer.
You think some machine, made the Thunderjaw because of us?
When you've tasted what I have, in the blood there's change. Such a change. It's colder than Banu-Ur, hotter than the Carja sun.
Does any machine walk or crawl that you haven't drunk from?
In the mountains north, the storm birds. Even the air in their passing crackles with potency. In the sweep of their eyes, they see all.
Don't get too excited. I'll get the Stormbird blood. Maybe. We'll see.
They must know how the orbit slows, fades, falls, decays, and yet returns to more than zero.
Yeah, maybe I've spent too much time with you. I can almost feel the lightning in this.
And the taste, huh? Metal striking sparks along a sharpening stone, lingering. Here, touch it to your tongue, and...
Nope, that's your thing, not mine. You look startled. Are you okay?
I must leave. You should too.
Without a story? I brought down a Stormbird.
You did. You're very able. And you're right. Ode is ode. But no more stories of the past. All told, all done. Future stories. I saw an onrushing storm. The future comes hungry for man and machine. It will catch me, I expect, catch us all. So enough hunts, enough visions. I'll run, chase that teasing sun to the forbidden west.
I don't understand. I mean, not that I ever understand, but are you saying we should fear what's coming?
Oh, yes! Jungle on fire! Machine blue light dying out in the eddies of ashes. You, fallen, pale as snow flash, eyes staring open. The metal world, but not the one I sought. The future is a frightful dream, Huntress.
My name is Aloy.
I grew fond of you. Your curiosities and disbeliefs, Aloy. If you weather this storm, look for me. I like that.
Where? In the west? In the storm?
In dreams. Yes.